Hello, this is Esperanza Nina, and we are here to present the main Chinese festivals or 中国的主要节庆. So the first celebration or festival that we have is Chinese New Year or 春节, and it is celebrated on the first day of the first month on the Chinese lunar calendar. So that is usually around late January to early February. And with the new year also comes a new zodiac animal. So for example, this year is the year of the rat, but next year will be the year of the ox. And during this time, many preparations are made in advance, such as making niangao or the New Year cakes, cleaning the house, and also planning the family reunion dinner. And during this time, schools and businesses are closed so that they can spend time with their loved ones. And the family dinner is held on New Year's Eve, and then once the new year begins, it is welcomed by setting off many fireworks. And during the festivals, there is a lot of lion and dragon dances. So much of the traditions for the new year include children wearing the new clothes for the year and receiving 红包 or red envelopes with cash for good fortune from their elders. And on the second day of New Year's, this is usually the time when married women would visit their parents and family back home. During this holiday, many Chinese people also visit temples, visit friends and relatives, and go sightseeing. And the celebrations usually last until the 15th of the first month when Yuan Xiao Jie, the Lantern Festival, begins, and that is usually celebrated at night by hanging lanterns and having a lantern parade. So here are some visuals of the Chinese New Year. So on the top left is the New Year cake, the niangao, and then below that is the hongbao, and with the money, and then next are the lanterns. I believe the top one is just kind of during the celebration, and then the bottom is the actual lantern festival. And then the last two photos on the right are the dragon dance and then the lion dance.
The next festival we have is the Dragon Boat Festival, also called Duan Wu Jie, and it's celebrated on May 5th based on the lunar calendar, and some people also call it Longzhou Jie. During this festival, to celebrate, people will make zongzi, which is treats made of sticky rice wrapped in bamboo leaves. And the most important event during this festival is the racing of dragon boats. So the Dragon Boat Festival actually has a story based on a famous Chinese scholar named Chu Yuan, who served the king of Qu. Chu Yuan was loyal to the king and gave good advice, but the king never really listened to the advice, so this led to the kingdom getting destroyed. And when the kingdom fell, Chu Yuan was so upset that he took his own life by jumping into a river. And the people of the kingdom searched for his body in boats using drums to scare away fish or throwing zongzi into the river, hoping that the fish will eat that instead of his body, which kind of ties into how they celebrate it now. And then here are some visuals for Dragon Boat festivals. So the first two photos are the racing of the dragon boats, and the two on the bottom are how zongzi looks and how they are served. Our next festival celebration is the Mid-Autumn Festival, also called Zhongqiujie, and it's celebrated on August 15 based on the lunar calendar as well. And some people will also just call this the Moon Festival. And it's celebrated by family gatherings, similarly to the other festivals. And the families will eat yuebing, which is moon cakes, round-shaped pastries traditionally filled with like lotus paste or red bean paste. And one of the major activities is watching the bright moon. There are many stories behind this festival, and a few of them are here. The first one is the story of Chang'e, who took her husband's immortality pill and flew to the moon. There's also the story of Wu Gang, who was sent to the moon by the gods as punishment for his impatience and had to chop a tree forever. And there's also the story of Yu the jade rabbit, who sacrificed to inspire the gods to let him live forever on the moon. So all these stories are, of course, centered around the moon, and it is said that you can see all three figures from the stories on the moon when it is brightest during the Mid Autumn Festival. And then here's some photos of how the Mid Autumn Festival is celebrated today, modernly, with the use of lanterns, with the use of bright lights and showcasing, as well as how UI wings looked and how it is shaped to look in a certain way for the festival.
So we also wanted to include how these festivals are celebrated internationally. So for example, Chinese New Year, outside of mainland China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau, other overseas Chinese-speaking regions celebrate this holiday, such as Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia. Other countries, such in the East Asian and Southeast Asian regions, such as Vietnam, Thailand, Japan, South Korea, Mongolia, and Tibet, have their own variation of a New Year or Chinese New Year, and some do follow the lunar calendar as well. And then for the Dragon Boat Festival, it is unofficially observed in Malaysia and Singapore, and it is actually also known as the Fifth Month Festival, the Fifth Day Festival, or Dumpling Festival, by the Malaysians, Singaporeans, and also Taiwanese Hokkien speakers. And then there are actually related festivals to the Dragon Boat Festival, since they fall on the fifth day of the fifth month of the lunar calendar. So they also have Dano for Korean, Children's Day for Japan, and Tet Duan No in Vietnam. Even though they have different traditions, such as like Children's Day in Japan, they usually celebrate the life of having children, and they hang these colorful carps in the air, like blue, red, and green, just kind of to represent and celebrate children. It's very, I think it's very similar to the Dragon Boat Festival.
And then for the Mid-Autumn Festival and how it's celebrated in international countries, it is also celebrated in Hong Kong, Macau, Vietnam, Taiwan, Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia. And a few alternative names for it are Zhong Chao Jit in Cantonese and Tay Trung Tu in Vietnamese. Some related festivals are Sukumi in Japan, Chuseok in Korea, Bonum Tuk in Cambodia, That Long Festival in Laos, That Hing Yung Festival in Myanmar, Poyo in Sri Lanka, and Onam in India. And these festivals are similar in that they're celebrated based on the lunar calendar and are to celebrate the autumn harvest as well. And they are variants, so they celebrate a little bit differently, but they all usually are centered around celebrating the autumn harvest.
So that was the end of our presentation, and we hope you guys enjoyed and learned a lot from this. Thank you very much.